I had a lot of you actually on my last video asking whether Dior contacted me. I don't need to tell you why this once iconic brand I don't feel is that iconic anymore. Hey everyone, so much has gone on in the luxury community, luxury industry over the last couple of weeks, over the last year, from price rises to, I feel like a lot of people kind of going off luxury, to people quitting YouTube. Like, it's all just going on at the moment. And I've got stuff that I have some laid out in front of me here that I'm going to show you. But I've got things that I'm not using and I'm finding myself not using, and they're iconic. And it really got me thinking about once icons that for whatever reason have fallen from grace. And I would love to get your thoughts on this, whether you think I've missed anything. If I have, write them in the comments below. Things that you feel were once up there and now they're not. But also, if you disagree with anything that I'm going to show you, if you're watching this and you're like, no, Sophie, you are wrong, that is still very iconic, then let me know. So I want to start with one of the like obvious ones, and it's Balenciaga. I don't need to tell you why this once iconic brand I don't feel is that iconic anymore. So back at the end of 2022, they obviously did that awful campaign with children, and I feel that that was, you know, from a business marketing perspective, or just from the perspective of anyone that's got a grain of common sense, I don't know how that campaign got through. Because when you do like a campaign like that, it doesn't just go through one or two people at the top, it goes through a lot of people that all sign it off. And I don't know how with a campaign like that it got through. There must have been people that raised concerns, but it was pushed through all the same. And I feel like they've really, really damaged their brand in some countries more than others. And I spoke about this in the last video I did, where I said that one of you who lives in Italy told me that all is forgiven with Balenciaga and people are wearing their stuff again now. In the UK, it seems to be different. In the States, it seems to be different. Possibly in Australia as well. Let me know. But I still get comments from you guys in those places, Canada as well, on the continent, Germany, saying we still don't wear it. They're not forgiven. Still, we don't want to wear their stuff. Now, the way I feel about this brand, I feel that they were once very iconic, particularly this bag, which is the hourglass bag. I also have, is it called the city bag? I think it is, like the mini size one. I've got that as well. And I also have got clothes from Balenciaga that have got Balenciaga written all over them, because that used to be my thing at the time. And I don't wear them anymore, because obviously I don't feel that I am comfortable wearing them. And so to me, this is an iconic brand that has fallen from grace by their own doing. The next thing is the Hermes Click H bracelet. Are we going to focus? Do you like my nails? I got them done the other day. I think they're really cute. So this bracelet to me used to be iconic, and I feel like it's not. And when I say iconic, I feel like it was iconic sort of 5 or 7 years ago. And definitely iconic back in, I feel like it was around about 2011, 2012. I remember wanting this so badly in the early 2010s. And you wore it with something else I'm going to come on to, which is dead and buried, in my opinion. But this, I don't really see people wearing it anymore. I feel as though it's a lot of money to kind of upgrade from, but I feel like I see more Cartier Love bracelets than I do this bracelet anymore, even though this is costume jewellery and it's under, I think it's under £800 from memory. But I wouldn't get another one of these. This isn't worth it. They scratch up really badly. On the gold version, the gold comes off from corners, anywhere that's kind of, you know, rubs on anything. Let's talk about the next. It's one that I used to own and I don't own it anymore, and it is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. The Neverfull and the Speedy, I feel, again, if you go back to early 2010s, these were super iconic. These were the bags to be seen with. I don't feel like, personally, I don't feel like one was any more popular than the other. I feel like they both were very popular. But you know what I think's killed it? I've made a list of things that I think have killed it. I think, first of all, when we started to see them everywhere. I think that when you, how to describe it? I don't know what you think actually, but I feel like when you buy what is meant to be luxury and then you see it everywhere, even down the market, on the market stalls, it doesn't feel luxury anymore. Luxury to me is something which brands really don't do so much anymore, apart from brands like Chanel, but with their top customers. But luxury for me is when you're taken into like a private room, like what Gucci did for me a couple of months ago. That was absolutely mind-blowing and fantastic. But when you're in a private room and they lay the room out with things that you might consider buying, things that are your clothing, that's your size, and it's all done up and it's private and you're not having to like fight with other people to queue up and get served. To queue up and get served to me doesn't feel like luxury. It just doesn't. Luxury to me feels like a more personal experience, and I feel like that is lacking today. But when it comes to the Louis Vuitton Neverfull and Speedy in particular, I feel as though they are bags that got killed by overproduction, the fake market. As I say, seeing them on market stalls, brazenly hanging up. There's a market stall near Selfridges in London. Don't know how many of you have seen it. And whenever I go past it, I'm like, wow, you are brazen about the fake bags that you are hanging up in broad daylight. Whatever your take is on fakes, and I know that since the Dior scandal, a lot of you have said, do you know what, I'm just gonna go and buy a fake. What you do you. But it always astounds me, that little stall there, how they sell the fakes and they don't care. The next one I want to discuss is contentious, and it's the Lady Dior. I love the Lady Dior. I will always love this bag. I know everything that's gone on with them right now. You know, I've done videos about the scandal that's going on with them. I had a lot of you actually on my last video asking whether Dior contacted me. No, they haven't. Thank God. No, I haven't heard anything. No one's contacted me. I haven't contacted anyone. So let's put that one to bed, because that didn't happen. The reason why I wanted to do that last video explaining myself is really to do with salespeople, because after I did that video, I thought, oh, I really don't want to fall out with anyone. That wasn't my purpose or intention on that video, and that's why I wanted to do a follow-up, just to kind of explain to you all as well why I was worried about making that video, because I did think someone was going to contact me, but it never happened. And lots of people have done that video since, so we're all good. But that's why I did that video. But this bag, how do you feel about this bag now? Since the controversy has been leaked, how do you feel about this bag? Do you see, I still see this as iconic, but I think that I feel as though the brand has been slightly damaged, maybe a lot damaged by the allegations that have come out. And I do believe it was the book tote that actually costs €53 to make. I don't believe it's the Lady Dior, although I wouldn't imagine this costs much to make either. Now we've figured out that the book tote is over 2k, but they're producing it for €53. I would imagine this costs well under, I don't know, £500 to make. That would be my guess. But do we think this has fallen from grace? Are you still carrying yours? Are you still using yours? I had a lot of really interesting comments from you under the video where I spoke about, you know, feeling that, like, my fear about speaking out. And a lot of you said to me, do you know what? You bought your stuff way before all of this controversy happened. Wear it. And whereas with Balenciaga, I think because it was kids, and mind you though, I don't know, because I'm really against exploitation in that respect. And so to me, is the exploitation of children worse than the exploitation of adults? I think they're both the same. I think they're both really, really terrible. But a lot of you felt differently, and I was really shocked by that. Like, you know, as I say, everyone's got their opinion. But a lot of you were saying, I'm a Dior customer, I might not shop there anymore, but I'm still going to use the stuff that I bought. And I found that quite interesting, actually. So again, let me know what you think. Let's move on. We are now going to talk about, again, a contentious one which I don't mean to be contentious about, but it's one that I feel is still iconic, but could be slipping. And I feel like it's the Van Cleef & Arpels Alhambra range, and also the Cartier Love bracelet. Okay, so to be straight up, if somebody gave me these two items, I would wear them to death. I love how they both look. And I wish, with every bone in my body, I wish that I bought these two items when I was looking at them back in 2016. In 2016, they were very iconic, but they weren't all over social media. And as such, they weren't as expensive. And I remember vividly eyeing up both and thinking, they're about the same price as a bag, and they've probably got more value to them because they're gold than a bag. And I nearly did it, you know. I nearly did it, in particular with the Van Cleef & Arpels Alhambra bracelet, the one that's just gold. Nearly did it, and I so wish I did, because now they're really, really expensive. And for the grammage of gold that you get, I don't believe they stack up against the price because you're paying for the brand name. But the reason why I feel like they are iconic but they're slipping is because I feel like this could be, I don't know, let me know what you think. I think this could be to do with social media. I think that when you see something all over the place, a bit like with the Louis Vuitton Neverfull actually, when you see something everywhere, does it start to feel less exclusive? And does that therefore mean something that was once exclusive and iconic starts to slip and become mainstream? And there's nothing wrong with mainstream. The Chanel Classic Flap, is it still iconic? I feel as though I'm in two minds about this bag. Of course it's still iconic. I think it always will be. But I think Chanel have killed themselves off in a different way, and it's to do with pricing. I believe that a lot of these brands, like for example Chanel, and one of you verified this in a comment that you left, but the Chanel that I used to go to, there used to be a queue outside pretty much every time, and you had to have an appointment to get in and skip the queue. And you always felt like a really annoying person when you skipped the queue and you'd walk to the front of it and they'd let you in, and everyone in the queue was like giving you the evil eye because you skipped the queue. And I almost wanted to say to everyone, I'm really sorry, but I have made an appointment. But that's how it used to go. Now, when I go past that same Chanel, I don't see those queues anymore. And in fact, and one of you said this, again, one of you said to me, I don't see the queues anymore and the stores look emptier than they used to be. And I wonder whether they have priced themselves to a point where a lot of us are thinking, no, I'd rather buy pre-loved, or, you know, something that's nearly new. If you're not into that pre-loved look, vintage look, you can go for something that's nearly new and make a bit of a saving on it. And then finally, the Alexander McQueen, how many remember this? The skull scarf. Do you remember this? This was very 2010 and it was highly iconic, I feel. It was that luxury starter kit of 2010 that you wanted. You wanted the Christian Louboutin shoes, the McQueen scarf, the Click H bracelet and the Neverfull, and you wore them all together. And I feel as though this was a staple piece. It was one that a lot of my friends had, and you, as you're seeing in this picture here, you like doubled it over and you wore it in like a triangle over the top of a blazer with some like really high heel ankle boots. You know those shoe boots? Do you remember the shoe boots? And skinny jeans with this big blazer, and that was the vibe. And I don't know what's happened to that scarf. They still make it, but they are not what they used to be. I don't see anyone wearing them now, and yet I feel like they were a super iconic piece at the time. But I would love to get your thoughts on this. So, can you let me know, do you think I'm wrong about anything? Do you think I'm right about anything? Do you think I've missed anything out? Have you watched this video and you've gone, oh, there was this one item and I thought you were going to mention it, but you didn't. Maybe I've forgotten it. So let me know in the comments if you think there's anything that I've missed. I hope you've enjoyed this and that it hasn't caused any offence. That's not the point of this. I just wanted to have like a general chat with you. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.